Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. It is a fun weekend. It's weather's not too bad outside. It's the first day of winter here in New Zealand at the bottom of the world, and of course, you guys know I'm streaming from the future, so it's pretty crazy as well. But it is actually the weather's not too bad for the first day of winter. Woohoo! Let's go, let's go, let's go. Which what does that mean? That means it's I guess tomorrow American time. That's probably about 19 hours from now. It's going to be the first day of summer. I guess is that right? I think that's right. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. So yeah, winter, come. It's going to be cold, and we're going to miss the sun. How about that? It's just made that up. Sean's in the house. Hey Sean. Hey Superman. What's up? What's up? Hey, good to see you, Sean. And it was great having a chat with you yesterday, Sean. I think it was. Yeah, we're going to have another chat later on today as well. So yeah, really cool things happening, and yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, hey, look. We cover, I cover most of the things on PulseChain, as you guys know, and there's a lot of good stuff on PulseChain, obviously. But there's also a few tricksy stuff in there as well. Just remember, always do your own due diligence, and nothing's investment advice on this channel. Just want to make sure that's clear, because I'm covering this daily, and I'm covering a lot of projects, and sometimes there's always some naughty ones in there. You've got to really do your due diligence. Always check the contracts and things like that. So you know what to do. We got Wookie in the house there. Day one. Oh boy, yeah boy. Well, Wookie's also in New Zealand. He's in I'm in the North Island. He's in the South Island, and yeah, it's normally extremely cold down there, but not quite there yet, Wookie, isn't it? It's you've had pretty good weather. And of course, smash the likes as well. Post it out. Now, Wookie lives in the South Island. It's a bit like fantasy land down there. They got this beautiful mountain ridges, and oh man, it's just some of the nature there is the best in the world. It's pretty crazy. All right, without that, we're going to get into the weekly update and roundup for PulseChain and of course crypto as well. So we're going to check some of those out. If you've got any projects that you think are really good, put them in the channel. Of course, I don't mind people posting stuff. Obviously, not overdoing it, but like shell. But if you like a project, let us know. To put that in the chat there, we may even check it out. But remember, always do your own due diligence, all that good stuff, because we've been covering PulseChain for 5-6 years now on this channel alone, and I was covering it before that on another channel as well, which many of you may not know. So that's just the way it goes. But that was way back. Now we're streaming to 3 YouTube channels at the moment, and also on X, which is pretty cool. Now I'm going to get you guys to post out on X's course. So let me just set that up, and you guys can repost the show, and I'm sure we'll get a lot more people watching as we move forward here. So that should be really good. Let me just switch this out here. What do we got here? I've got something pinned, have I? Yeah, we're going to change the pin, and put the latest show on the line there. And of course, repost it out myself. And let's see if we can copy that link in, and you guys can post the show. So post the show on X, and that really does help a lot. So if you can do that, that'd be great. That is the link there. And they don't really allow you to do spaces, so I'm going to do a few little arrows there, and that is the link. So if you can do that, really cool. What else there? We got Richie Robinson said, sorry, didn't mean to send that. I'm not sure what did you send, Richie? I didn't know what that was. I know what that was. So that's all good. Let us know in the chat there. We've got the post there on X, so if you can do that, it'd be really great. Now, here's good news. You guys know that on the Crypto Night Show, obviously we cover PulseChain every day. Occasionally I'll take a day off for something important. But apart from that, we've pretty much been here year after year covering PulseChain through the bear market and the bull market, and we love it, right? We love, obviously, you got to love it if you're going to be doing it all the time. And I love crypto, and love for PulseChain. And of course, Richard Hart has been a pretty fun founder to follow. The rebel. He's made lots of good calls, of course, on the way. But man, we have definitely had to wait our time for the dinner. When's the dinner coming? Ma, where's the meatloaf? Where's the meatloaf? So we've been waiting for the meatloaf, but it is coming. It is very close, I think. Now, is this the final little washout for PulseChain? Is this the final little rinse? And of course, chances to pick up lots of good core coins. We shall see. Now, we do have some high volume tokens called Remember at the moment, or token called Remember at the moment on the PulseChain, doing some insane numbers. What is that exactly doing? What are they actually doing? Is that siphoning off certain capital? It's probably one thing that we might talk about a little bit there. Let me know in the chat there what your thoughts are on that. but we've been doing some pretty outstanding volume, and most of it is on that Remember token, one of the printed tokens. So we'll talk about that a bit later. What else we got going on? That's some of the things happening this week. What we've seen, obviously, a retrace in the PulseChain. I'm going to talk about that. So obviously, it's a good buy opportunity, but it's also a retrace. Are those two related? The Remember and the pullback and the Pulse. Let me know what your thoughts are there on that one. And we've got so that's on the I guess the challenging side on PulseChain. The other side, of course, has been the bullish opportunity to the on ramps that have been coming onto PulseChain with new fresh capital. So we got a bit of a battle between capital there at the moment, capital in, capital out. I don't know, we'll decide. But we've definitely had some positive flows over on the official bridge as well, with I think net gains. I think yesterday was a net gain, 440,000 or something like that on PulseChain. So it's going to be interesting to see where all this heads in the next few weeks. And we're going to talk about, I guess, PulseChain levels. What are they at the moment? We wanted to get over 4,200, and we failed to do that this time. And then we were hoping that we're going to hit the bottom of the range at maybe 3,500. We're slightly below that at the moment. I think we're at 3,400 on Pulse. So yeah, we will check all that out in the charts and have a chat about that. That is some of the review that we're going to have this week. What else we had? We've had a decent amount of news. Obviously, the monster thread's been out, so big shout out to Crypt MVS, editor on that one. And we've got the fourth weekly coming up on Sunday, Monday, depends on where you are in the world, of course. Sunday for the US, Monday for New Zealand, Australia, Pacific Islands. So that is what's coming up this week number 4. Very popular, and of course, it really is becoming a great news update for everybody in PulseChain, and of course, huge audience now. So really excited about that. And we've got more publications going to be coming out in the future. So stay tuned for that as we're ramping up here on the Kryptonite Show. The other thing, of course, you guys know we've moved into doing promotions to highlight some really good project teams out there, because there's no real promotions group that I'm aware of on PulseChain that does that. So we've moved into that space. We obviously love crypto and the challenge of getting the good projects out, and of course matching people up with them. It's pretty cool. On that note, we're going to be adding our next growth on the Kryptonite Show team, and that is we're going to be doing X Spaces, and that's probably at this moment is probably going to be running every 2 weeks. And the first one coming up is this Wednesday at I think it's 9 p.m. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday coming up. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We obviously want everybody to come along and hear from some of these top teams that are rising stars, as I call it. So it's going to be very cool. Now, not all the big project teams, obviously they have big communities, big influencers and all sorts of stuff behind them, but there's a lot of small, medium projects out there that are very good tokenomics, doing a lot, bringing a lot to PulseChain. And we're going to get, quite a few of those, probably almost half a dozen of those to come along and give about a 10-minute, I guess a 10-minute update about their project and their tokenomics and fundamentals. So that is coming up on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be, promoting it over the next few days. That is the next big step in the Kryptonite Show, and of course, playing our part in terms of growing PulseChain. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We got more coming in after that, though, and I've got another little secret project that I'm working on at the moment, and I don't know, hopefully I'm going to get to work on it more today, actually. We'll see. We're pretty busy today, to be honest, but we'll do our best. But that's going to be really cool. Going to be announcing. Hopefully I'll have that out. If I don't have it out next week, it'll be out the week after, and that's a secret project. Yeah, it's a little secret project of mine, so that's coming out too. And then after that, we've got more stuff coming on our roadmap. So PulseChain's not going anywhere. And we're going to play our part in that as well. So it's very exciting. So big shout out to the team. It's not just me and, of course, MVS is doing a great job, but it's also we've got like probably 6 or 7 or 8 other people that are around us as well doing a great job. All love PulseChain and want to do well. So it's a lot of fun moving forward. Now, and last thing I'm going to say about admin is that we've got Strategy Club. Going to have a quick session today. It's going to be probably a smaller session than yesterday, but I've got a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about yesterday. That's going to be in today's Strategy Club. And of course, I've also got the monthly update that'll be out probably tonight or tomorrow. Probably tonight, actually. So we'll say either tonight or tomorrow, the monthly update for Strategy Club will be out as well. So if you haven't joined Strategy Club, the link is in the video description. Definitely join up. It's a great place. We also have chats in the Strategy Club room as well about what's, this and that. And so you have a chance to, talk back and forward. And we have a great discussion there. So definitely check that out. The link's in the description on that one. Only $35 a month as well. So very good value in my opinion. All right, let's get into the show and check out everything else that's going on. I did do a post as well on Sun Mini Meal, and that's been proven pretty popular. So we might have a quick look at that. I did sort of cover it briefly yesterday. If you didn't check out yesterday's video, I covered what did I cover? I covered what did I cover yesterday? I covered basically the that PulseChain will make you rich because there's so many fundamentals coming along, and I went through a whole list of those. So you definitely want to check out that stream. Scream. What am I saying? Scream. It's not the movie Scream, is it? It's stream. That's the word I'm after. Stream. So you definitely want to check that out. And I might actually clip it out, that little section, and then post it on X today. That might be a good idea. I want to start doing a lot more short videos on X. That's probably something I should have been doing a lot more. So we're going to do that too. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's get into the markets and see where they're at. That's all I can say. So yeah, this is the one here I did on Sun Mini Meal. We've got this summit coming up on the 3rd of June. So it's only a few days away now. Just a couple of days away. Can you believe it? It'll be about 4 days away for me probably, and probably 5 days away. About 3 or 4 days for me, 4 or 5 days away from you in the Northern Hemisphere. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Now, the other thing is, of course, if you haven't followed on X, definitely give us a follow because, we're just growing again. Now, I had an old account, was quite fairly large, but we're starting again. And so you hit the follow there on the Crypto Night Show, and that would be really great. All right, so let's get into the crypto markets. And of course, strategy. Wookie's posted the strategy link there. Big shout out there, Wookie. Wookie is one of our 2 community leaders along with Brian, and he does an amazing job. So big shout out there. If you want to join Strategy Club, that is the link right there. And of course, also in the video description. And don't forget to post out the show on X. All right, let's move forward and get into the chat there. If you've got any projects you want to talk about, let us know. And we may even check them out as well. So just need to get in there and get involved. You guys know I love the community is number one. So get in there and do that. All right, so let's have a look. We got Bitcoin at the moment. Man, we have had the retrace. Crypto market, 3.397 trillion, down 1.8%. So we have had a couple of days off in the wider market for crypto. We got Bitcoin at the moment, 104,715. It is actually up though in the last 24 hours, 0.6%. So a little bit of a rebound is at the end of the little pullback there for Bitcoin after breaching a new all-time high. We got Ethereum at the moment is up 0.1%. That is at $2,534 after its little mini sort of recovery, relief rally, wasn't it, for Ethereum? We got XRP there, number 4, is up 2.1%. So a nice little move there for XRP at $2.18. BNB at number 5, up 0.6%, $658. We got Solana at number 6, up 0.2% at just under $1.57 actually. And we got Dogecoin there, number 8, is up 0.2% at 19.3 cents. And finally, Tron. I don't know if you guys seen that new movie coming out with Tron, but they merged the digital world merges with the real world. It looks pretty good, actually. Looks pretty good. Let's hopefully they've got good acting and it's not woke. Not woke. Woke destroys everything, right? So hopefully it's not woke. 0.3% is down, and it's at 26.6 cents at the moment. Tron there. So those are the kind of the mixed bag that we've had in the last 24 hours. Over the week, the best performer has been Ethereum. It's up 0.1%, so it's not much in crypto. 0.1% is basically flat, but it's at $2,534. So pretty much the same price as it was a week ago. That's where Ethereum is right now. Looking at the worst performer, and that is Dogecoin, down 14.3%. Not too far behind is Solana there, down 11%. So we're definitely not in altcoin season right now, or at least we were getting a little bit of a teasers with Solana and Dogecoin, but it's all been wiped out, and we're actually down for the week. So there we go. Here's where we are in the top 10. Let's go to the top 100, and we can see that actually the best performer, we had this yesterday as well, right? I think it was SPX 6900. That is up 12.9%. We got Quant again, 11.7%. Now, I made the joke yesterday about The Big Short because I love that movie, right? The Big Short. If you love financial movies, The Big Short's a great one, and they did a great job of that. And that is sitting at number 2. Kronos number 3, up 10.9%, and Ton Chain there for Telegram. That is up 3.9%, and then KuCoin. KuCoin, we're not really into centralized exchanges. We're mostly into DeFi, but KuCoin is one of the better ones, I would say, in the centralized exchange market. It's up 1.3% for the week. So not a lot of gainers in the top 100 over the last week, right? Not a lot of movement there. And then we've got some pretty popular ones that we've seen recently, Vertical Protocol as well in there. Let's see who else is down there, not far. Now let's remix it, and let's get back to the top ones. So the top one is Bitcoin at the moment. I want to scroll down and I want to find. I want to find what were we after? We're after Pi Network. So Pi Network, of course, this is a pretty controversial project in my mind. It's at number 34. It is down 16% for the week at 65 cents. And of course, they've been doing some stuff around the old apps. I think they're on a phone app store or something like that. The last couple of days, it's kind of been the joy there. But of course, a very slow delivery, and I think it's intentional. They always pretend that it's all around security and stuff like that, but I think it's pretty much intentional. Them rolling out a pretty slow ball on people's Pi tokens. If you'd been back in crypto back in like 2018, 2019, I think that's when Pi Network came out with their phone, and so did another project called Electronium ETN. Token, which is pretty smashed. I think pretty smashed there. The CEO was like one of these charismatic, educated, successful British guys, but ended up just taking the wrong strategy or something. I don't know, but it has not managed to manifest anything greater than that. Now, looking down at the bottom here, let's go all the way down the bottom. See what's at the bottom of the top 100, and we can see we've got a few other ones here. Graph, we got Mantle as well. We got this XBX 6900, which has been doing pretty well this week. Best performer, as we said. EOS there. What else is in the top 100? Immutable, Fartcoin, which have been doing very well for quite a bit of time, and so on. Rocket Pool down there, Sonic as well. So there we go. That is kind of where we are at the moment. I haven't normally do this, but because we're doing the weekly review, might as well, right? Moving into the top 200, we've got Curve and Maker. We've got a few of these in the house. Dog with Hat. Now, I think Dog with Hat is we've seen that pop into the top 100 before. And I just think if you're going to be looking for a kind of a mainstream meme coin, Dog with Hat's probably one that you may want to pick up, because we saw it pop back into the top 100. And of course, it did that a couple of times. So that may very well be one of the meme coins that actually rallies really, really hard. Once we get into this euphoria altcoin season, right? This may very much rally very hard and might go from like 107 into the top 30 or something like that. So just, take note. And there's also Floki down there as well. So sort of probably pick off a couple of these at the moment. But Dog with Hat's down 24% on the week. So you're going to have to be, it's a good opportunity to get it in there, but you're going to definitely have to check the chart to make sure it's not going to go down too much further. But it's definitely been down 24% this week. So just take note of that. Use the old RSI tools as well, and just, check out the community and stuff. But that is kind of, some of these may be good to pick off. Not when there's not when altcoin season is not on, of course. That's you got to buy it near the bottom as much as possible. But definitely once it rallies, it could really, really, really hard. So just some food for thought there. We see quite a few of these gold ones as well in the top 200. We've got Gala there. You guys remember Pancake Swap sitting at 121 at the moment. There's lots of big, lots of familiar names. Like I don't want to go through all these because I know, everyone, if you've been in crypto a while, you know all these names for the most part. There's a lot of the names in here that I don't know, but there's a lot that I do, so I don't want to get too much into it. What else we got here? We got Brett meme coin as well. It's sitting at 150 at the moment. It's up 6%, down 18% for the week. So like I said, when we're not in altcoin season, they can be pretty brutal volatility, and your bag portfolio will be moving around pretty aggressively. So take note of that. What else is going on here in the top? This is in the between 100 and 200 ranked. We got Kato in there. We got Dogcoin. Now you guys know we're covering Dogcoin pretty hard. It's currently sitting at 46/100th of a penny. The market cap's at 469 million. That's actually not too bad. And of course, Bitcoin's been going up in value. But yeah, I don't know what the Sats is on this at the moment, the Satoshis, but it's up 16.8%. So we might come back to Dog and have another look at that. But that is Dog. Let's have a quick look at the chart while we're here. Dog go to the moon, right? So let's have a look on the max. We've got the max there. So yeah, it's already come off the bottom. So it went down to 1/1200th of a penny. And it's had a nice little rally back up here on the back of Bitcoin, probably rising up, and got oversold, right? Got oversold from the top here. It almost reached 1 cent, right? Almost twice now. It's almost reached 1 cent, which would mean it's about $1 billion, right? About $1 billion. Hasn't managed to do that yet. So that's what BRC20 token, I think it is, BRC20. Yeah, so that is going to be pretty interesting. And I understand that someone was going to be organizing a actual rocket ship with a sort of a picture of the dog going up there or something like that. That's on the old Bitcoin network. What else? It's first season for me. It's the first crypto season for meme season on Bitcoin, right? With these other networks built on top of the blockchain. Well, built into the blockchain, really, in some ways. So yeah, let's scroll down here a bit more. That's kind of the top 200. We got Compound all the way down at number 200 down here. So Compound, one of the big DeFi projects, all the way down at number 200. at the moment. Let's go to page 3. We'll do top 300. I guess the top, 200-300 is kind of the ones where you get a lot of the well-known names, a lot of the better valued projects, and we're still, in the 360 million market cap at the moment. So we got Mogcoin up here, Popcat. You guys remember Popcat there? Movement, that was doing very well. Remember Movement? The Trump Foundation was got a holdings of Movement, right? That I don't know how high it got, but it's 23% down this week. So pretty brutal on the old volatility there. What else is going down here? Let's look a few more. Polygon Matic at the moment. That's sitting at 322 million. So I guess there's not too much stuff happening over there. Used to be one of the big chains, right, when it came out. Big chains had some pretty big drama on there too. Mantra, of course, OM. This is the one that got the big rug on it. Let's see where this is at the moment. 300 million still. Man, that's crazy. But look at that chart. Look at that chart. Oh, that's crazy, yeah. Actually, it's not that long, isn't it? Let's go to 3 months. Look at that chart. That's the old M. So that was pretty. That made the news, right? So it was $6.31. And then it went down all the way down. Let's have a look at the market. What's the market cap at the time? Market cap was $6.1 billion market cap, and then beep, had the old rug pulled in it, and then it's down to 485 million. The fact that it's still bled out and it's still sitting at around 300 million. I don't know what the latest news is on this, but yeah, it was going to be a security first RWA layer 1 blockchain. So yeah, it's got all the 10,000 TKS and stuff like that. But that is Mantra OM. So that's at number 233. Still holding on to $300 million market cap. So I don't know. You guys decide. But definitely worth checking out. 237 is a cat and dogs world. 237, that's down 20%. But that's still up here. What else is looking in? Aave, we've got 1 inch and Aave. Obviously well known. DeFi there. What else is on the top 300 here? Layer 0. Let's scroll down a bit further. SafePal in there as well. Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel's in there at number 265. What else is here? Baby Dodge Coin is up there at number 269. And what's the market cap on? About 232. Scrolling down a few more of these. We're not going to go further than the top 300, but it's pretty interesting to see what's at this level. Some of these will move dramatically during the altcoin season, so you'll see a lot of movement going on between, particularly the top 300 coins. Let's have a look. Scroll down here. We've got Moonding down 21% at the moment. So pretty brutal on those if you're holding that. And ZK Sync is at number 299. So that's going to wrap it up there. And to get on the page 3, which is the top 300, you got to have a $195 million market cap. And of course, you guys know that Sun Mini Meal and a lot of, we got a decent number of Coke tokens. Maybe we'll check that out on PulseChain that have, $200 million market caps or more. So yeah, check it out. Now, so obviously some coins you can manipulate the market cap and easily, do billions. We've got coins with billions in dollars, which is pretty silly. But when we, take the sort of the bigger projects, we can say, oh, that's a fairly good market cap and probably represents to some degree what it is on crypto. All right, we got a couple of people in the chat there. We got Tombos and Hussey. What's the deal with these new reflection coins? The 414 one that mooned. Yeah, that was Cabal King. That was Cabal King, Toon Boss. Yeah, so come jump into the Discord and chat about that. We got Pulse Jitsu in the house there with Fast Abdul. I'm here for the tech. He is indeed, and of course the founder of Ink Printer, right? One of our liquidity forks. So yeah, pretty neat there. Pretty awesome contribution to the chain. Now I guess you guys are going to benefit from. Is it Coast or is it Hex Scout? Someone bring on something that's going to benefit Pulse. I've just forgotten the name of it now. Going to benefit those potential liquidity forks. I just can't remember. Maybe you can remind me. Someone will know. When is this FTX money going to hit? FTX. I'm not sure what that's about. Let me know, Thomas, what that is. You might inform me on that one. Brennan in the house there's. Howdy, folks. Good to see Brennan as well. Big shout out there. All right, let's jump over to Bitcoin and see where that is at the moment. And maybe we'll change screen. I just got to remember if I change screen, I've got to, I've got to pause this video.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the.
Oh, I disappeared. Oh, found it. All right, so let's have a check out of Bitcoin where it's at the moment. Before we do that, though, let's have a drink of my soft coffee here. Don't forget to smash the follow button, hit the subscribe button for daily PulseChain content and crypto as well. And of course, we do stock market during the week as well. We're fully informed on this channel. That's what we try to be. And of course, here we are with Trump's three-legged stool strategy playing out. Now, good news. And we have good news and we have not so good news for the week. So the good news is that we've got at least 3 big trade deals that are going to be probably announced in the next week, maybe next week probably. They're all ready to go to Trump's desk. So presumably we may get those announced next week. That could be very good for the market, especially that we've had this nice little pullback here. Bitcoin, of course, got up to what did it get up to? Got up to 112,000 US dollars here on Coinbase. 112,000. It's a new all-time high for Bitcoin. So it's been shaded down, and it looks like it got down to a low of 103. So what's that? $9,000 pullback. And you got to get used to this. Once we're over 100,000, we could get a 9,000 move down in a day. Right, could happen in a day. So just remember that as we move higher in value, we're going to get this number bias, and it's going to, and also supply demand bias is what not bias, but supply and demand squeezes. And at the moment, so it looks like we've bounced off 103, which is a good sign that we're bouncing back over the 100. Right. So as long as we maintain that, we're probably going to go up for the next move. And of course, as I said, we've probably got at least maybe 1 to 3 deals that possibly could come out next week if they get signed by the president, subject to his, whether he decides to add a little bit of more sweet sauce into it. But that is pretty good news. So we're really we're looking for the top 15 countries out of the top 115 plus countries that are in line for doing trade deals. And so that's what we're expecting to see is a couple of those lined up. Now, where are the challenges? Well, the challenge obviously with China. And of course, was with the European Union, but it looks like European Union will probably capitulate after Trump, did the 50% rise, I think, in car tariffs. So that they've come back to the table pretty much straight away. They care about money a lot, right? So there's only so much there. But also, did they undermine the Ukraine-Russia talks? That's also something you can ask within NATO. That you can't trust these globalist Marxists, right? They'll lie to you in your face, and they'll send 1 million people to where. But anyway, this is kind of where we are at the moment. So looking pretty good now. Obviously, China and Russia, playing a few little games here, particularly China. And so we'll see how we get on. I don't think China's got much room to move, really. I mean, they can, bravado a little bit, but really, I think they need to come to the table because not just because I think they're obviously the exporter, but because they're already facing factory shutdowns and auto shutdowns and things like that. So they really can't afford that, especially with their economy, being on weak knees, as it were. The other one, of course, is that with all these new trade deals, the US consumption will start diversifying and switching to a lot of other countries, particularly in Southeast Asia and other countries like that, where labor there. But that's for apparel, textiles and apparel and things like that, as opposed to where Trump wants to head manufacturing into obviously automobiles and high tech. Right, that's where Trump's really pushing the manufacturing build up in the United States, which is a very smart move to do right now. And so that's kind of where we are at the moment. We also got the big tax bill running through. Obviously goes to the Senate and then maybe get partly pushed if they do a lot of changes, which are expected, pushed back to the House. And then hopefully we're going to have that all done and dusted by the 4th of July. It'll be at the president's desk to be signed, that big tax bill with tax extensions. Now, some of the people are talking about, the fact that that may or may not impact, obviously, federal revenue. And it probably will have a hit on federal revenue in short term, but that may be short-lived. And we did see GDP growth for the last quarter, negatives. I think the negative 0.2%. So obviously, we're skirting a technical recession at the moment. So we'll see what the next 3 months folds. That being said, of course, we've got the benefit of oil being down, $20, $25 since Trump's come into office, and we do see a lot of benefits happening in lower inflation, as well as low inflation, as well as what was the other thing I was going to say? Something else. I just forgotten. But we have low inflation, things like that's coming in place. So Trump's strategy is already kind of working to the upside already. Oh, that's right. I was going to say income. So income has risen slightly as well. So real wages are increasing for the Americans as well. And this is all bolding very, very well. And we're not really even in the we're just sort of in this pre-foundation stage for the golden age of America. So by the 4th of July, we really need to have the big tax bill through. That's looking pretty positive from the House Speaker, and so yeah, we should see, and of course Thune and Senate, we should see that happening we should see that going through. They're pretty positive about that. And of course, the trade deal announcements, we should get maybe even a couple next week, like I say, big ones. And then we may have just tons of them flow through all the way into the 4th of July. So I'm still extremely bullish about where we're heading here. And of course, if we get eventually enough pressure on the Fed is playing political games because they should have already cut interest rates, really. So we'll see how that goes. And that's where we get the 4th of July. And we're going to get more deregulation leverage. So that is what we're expecting. Probably most realized from next week onwards. We should get some of those. I'll be surprised if we don't. If it's not next week, it'll be the week after. But I'm really feeling pretty confident we'll get some of those next week. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. And that means we've got 33 days, guys, 33 days to go to the 4th of July. And of course, that's when Trump pretty much wants to have the foundation of his three-legged stool strategy in place. So, this could be a pretty exciting next month in front of us. That would take us to the 4th of July. And of course, we've also got the we've got the base load tariff extensions for the majority of countries until the 9th of July. But I suggest to you that by the time we get to the 7th of July, that will be a Monday, that Trump will have there's a good chance he could have some big celebration that he's laid the foundation of his strategy, the three-legged stool strategy, and the golden age of America really starts to ramp up, right? Because you've got all that in place. And of course, he's within his first sort of 100 to 120 days, he's raised about $12 trillion or more, which is absolutely just unbelievable. So 12 trillion, in the context, and it's probably even higher now, probably 13, 14 trillion. They just keep flowing money into doing money deals to build out all that manufacturing and infrastructure and high-tech capability. It is going to be an absolute game changer. And already they're clearing large swathes of land and building all this stuff. And of course, just last week he had the nuclear, right? All the guys in the nuclear in the White House doing not just large-scale nuclear, but micro-scale nuclear as well. And remember, this is like 4th, 5th generation technology now. It's not the old days of Chernobyl. So this is a very different world now. And of course, these mini units, nuclear units, are probably going to be setting up next to AI plants, right? Sitting next door to a nuclear little mini plant. How about that? So that's going to power those because they need regular supply, right, for the AI stuff. Obviously, there's the good and the bad around AI technology, right? So it does. It's just the way it goes. And of course, it's going to be the same like any other technology. So you can decide whether it's a net benefit and net loss. I think a lot of technology can be a bit trouble, but that's kind of where we are. We're moving into this technological age. The other thing, of course, Elon Musk yesterday, he talked about going to Mars. I don't know if you guys watched that presentation, but man, it is pretty awe-inspiring. Now, there's lots of obviously engineering and technical challenges to doing that. But imagine we could have probably, because they're going to leave probably September, October next year, if all goes well. They're looking at 5 starships at the moment. So that's the number they're expecting at the moment. They could change that number, of course. They're looking at 5 starships going on this voyage to Mars. Can you believe it? And it'll probably be, that's the shortest time window, right? So I think, I can't remember exactly how many, 3 or 4 months, I think is the minimum maybe. On that, possibly 6 months. I can't remember exactly the time frame, but I think it's a pretty short window actually, because it can be as long as 2 years, I think, on the long end of it. It's going to be pretty fun to see that, and they'll follow this. I think this elliptical orbit, right? It's not a very funny orbit as Mars is sort of coming around. The ship's already left Earth, and Earth keeps going on, and then Mars, the spaceship keeps going forward. There'll be 5 of them, right? 5 of these things. And and what's going to be on them? Humans? No, not humans aren't going to be on them, but Optimus robots will be. And of course, they're going to be pretty advanced. They get so advanced now, they're going to be pretty advanced by next year. So we're going to see possibly by January, I think it could land on Mars, maybe February 2027. And this is during the golden age of America, right? So this is just another thing that people will remember during this period is that January, February 2027. We could see 5 starships land on Mars, assuming they land successfully, of course. 5 starships land on Mars. It's got a different atmosphere, right? So they've got different, burning stuff. But then, of course, if they land, and then we see Optimus robots, which look pretty realistic, futuristic, and they'll probably be looking different by the time they get those models going by September next year. Because the advancement's so fast at the moment. Is imagine seeing that on Mars. These 5 spaceships land on Mars, and then these Optimus, robots walk out. I mean, it's going to be chilling. It's going to be truly chilling, honestly. Now, it takes about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how far away it is at the time. But that would take about 3 or 4 minutes for the video imagery to come to Earth which is going to be crazy, right? Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. So yeah, the further it gets away, of course, when it goes behind the sun, that could take, I think, up to 20-40 minutes, somewhere like that, 20-40 minutes for a message to go from Mars to Earth. But of course, it's going to be run with AI, right? So it's going to be doing all sorts of stuff by itself. The other thing, of course, it's going to have. I think that the SpaceX will be doing. I think they're going to put some satellite systems. I don't know how close they can get to the sun, because obviously there's a NASA satellite or two that observe the sun, but we could see them putting satellites up in some sort of orbit around the sun to speed up the telecommunication ability, to minimize that down to that 3-4 minute mark. I think that's probably going to be playing, because they did put up satellites, right? The other thing that they're going to have with the Mars is they're going to be putting up their satellite system, right? That they're putting around Earth. What they got now, about 6,000 or 7,000 satellites. I think they're going for 40,000 satellites for this. So for Starlink, isn't it? For Starlink. Well, they're going to be putting satellites around Mars as well. Oh my God, it's like being in Star Trek, but it's all coming real. And this is all during the golden age of America, so you can't do much better than that. So yeah, things are going to be pretty crazy and pretty futuristic. And by the time we get to 2027, it's going to be a very different world. And of course, we're going to probably by that time have robots and humanoids walking around the cities. Don't be surprised. It's definitely the convergence of AI, AI software, AI chips, the robotics, and of course power systems, right? Which is probably still, I would say, it's still the last big challenges. But we're definitely getting advances there with cobalt lithium batteries and stuff like that. With what they call almost infinity lifetimes, right? But it depends on what you're using it for. But infinity lifetimes, maybe 10,000 cycles or so. So we'll see. All it ends. It's going to be pretty crazy. So that is, this is where we are today. And I just wanted to have a little think about where we are in 2027, which is, maybe a year and a half from now. And it will be a very different place indeed. The other thing, of course, Trump's going to be looking at building more ship manufacturing in the United States. Obviously, building massive plants, and of course, all these plants give huge number of jobs. About tens of thousands of jobs for each kind of main plant that they build, either permanent or long term. It's going to be pretty crazy, and we'll see quite a bit of shift in the labor market as well, right? Because obviously, robotic and automation is finally here. And I think I said this yesterday or the day before. Back in the 80s, they talked about, robotics are going to take over the world. You guys won't have to do any work and all this stuff. But that didn't happen, right? We just weren't quite at that level. And but here we are. Was it 25, 40 years later, pretty much, and it's finally arriving. Right, this age is actually finally arriving, and we see a lot of factories and distribution plants and warehouses and things like that automated with very few humans in them. So that's pretty interesting where that's going to go. All right, so that is kind of where we are at the moment. But yeah, very bullish about the next 33 days, 4th of July, and laying that foundation. It is going to be in place. And man, it's game on from there. Game on from there, just up and up, up and away. Now, remember the U.S. economy. Let's just go through some of the numbers. 27 trillion approximately, the U.S. GDP. They are the big consumer of the world, somewhere between probably 25 and 25% of consumption. They are the big consumer. This is a weakness for China. They're not really a consumption society, and that's actually probably been intentionally suppressed as well by the regime. The other thing, of course, is the U.S. debt's pretty huge. 37 trillion. GDP is about 27 trillion. The trade deficit is about 1.2 trillion, and of course, the federal deficit is about 2.2 trillion, with half of that being in interest payments. And these are all the problems that Trump's trying to deal with. And of course, this strategy with the three-legged stool strategy is going to help deal with all of that, and of course, put America back on the front foot, which is pretty exciting. So we're going to have a safer America, a more prosperous America, and I think a more inspired America, right? The American dream will get back on the table, and we just saw yesterday, real income starting to creep up there. So game on, game on. All right, so that is pretty much it with Bitcoin. We're currently at 104,000, but we're expecting good numbers. Potentially somewhere between 150 and 250, probably on the top end of that by the end of this year is the expectation. We had Nick from Crypto Paradise in here the other day talking about pretty similar numbers, so I think we were pretty much in agreement with that. And next year we could start creeping up even to the 400k, 500k mark into 2026. Under the golden age of America, and we probably get an interest rate pivot that may be the trigger for an altcoin season, maybe a trigger also for PulseChain moves on PulseChain. And what else? What else we could talk about? I think that's some of the big stuff that we could be seeing very, very soon. So yeah, game on this year. Game on. All right. In the meantime, is this the last time? There will be a last time. Is this the last time that we get a little bit of a retrace in the markets before we get that big move? For sure, because we're still over 100K Bitcoin. Let's not forget that. It's pretty impressive. Time for a coffee break. Coffee by Nutella. I don't know, but we got the PulseChain at the moment. Let's just see if we've got any comments before I move on to the PulseChain. Let's do that and see who's in the house. We got Brendan. I got up to Brendan. Hey, Brendan. And we got Hexfad as well. Hey, gang. Good to see Hexfad there from the US of A. What else there? Tomba says the refunded FTX stables should come out today and over the next few days. I think it's in the billions, says Tombas. Okay, that's really good insight. Thanks, Tombas. Appreciate that. Was not aware of that one, so appreciate that. All right. What else there? That will be crazy if the Mars trip launches next year. Yeah, September, October, and 5 ships, man. 5 ships. It's probably all going to be on video too, and we'll take a couple of months to get to Mars. But man, they're not using ion drives either or anything like that. Fusion drives, they're using obviously the whatever chemical makeup they have. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that would be pretty interesting. Yeah, crazy trip, man. But imagine it, 5 ships landing on Mars, and assuming successfully. And then, of course, Optimus robots get out there as well, and they probably will be doing some work there as well to set up for the next trip. So the next trip's going to be 2 years after that, and it may or may not have humans on it. So we'll see. Hopefully it will, because if they do, the next trip after that, it's going to be setting up infrastructure. So it's going to be pretty much in every year, 2-year window. And I think they were going from 5 spaceships up to about 50 or something like that for the second one. So that'd be not 26, but 28, leaving in late 28. And they would have, I think, 50 ships, what they're planning. And the interesting thing about Starship Base, it's become its own city now, right, under Trump, so it's given some protection because it's getting a lot of harassment from Democrat, rulers. Is that they were going to they're going to try and produce a Starship one every 3 days, I think is where they're heading. A Starship 1 every 3 days, something like that. It's crazy, right? Producing these ginormous skyscrapers every 3 days to go into space and to go to Mars. Crazy stuff. Hey, we've got Sandy Beach in the house there. Big shout out to Sandy Beach. All right. So Sandy Beach is back, and it's really good to see you back, Sandy. I know you've been back for probably a good month or two now, but it's always a pleasure to see Sandy in the chat. Hi, Superman and everyone. Hey, good to see you, Sandy. All right, so let's jump into the results. Obviously, PulseChain for the last week. We're going to get into that. And at the moment, we've got 24 hours. So we'll do 24 hours first, then we'll do the week. So day 751 here on PulseChain. And, of course, we've got the prices there at quadruple 0339, down 2.7%, sitting at 34% of the main sacrifice price. We've got PulseX as well. We've got little hugs here from Sandy Beach. We got PulseX as well. Quadruple 0291 down 5.3%, and we've got the buy and burn at 1.42 trillion Titanx and sitting at 7.17%. Now, some of the sites do have slightly different numbers. One of the numbers is correct, or maybe it's slightly different. But if you go to Pulse Coin List, they got a different number again. So one of them's correct, or they're both slightly out. I don't know. It's just the way it goes. But if we include the OA, which looks like we're sitting at 142 trillion supply, it says here, with 1.42 trillion burnt. So it just depends on what you do. If you ignore the OA, which I do, really, I consider just ignore that. Now, you wouldn't ignore it if it got moved into a collateral backing, right? If it ended up getting collateral backing for something that got locked in, you wouldn't, you'd have to say, well, that moved, didn't it? But 20 trillion is the public supply. So if we include the OA, it says 142. So I think numbers are slightly different on Pulse Coin List, but that's the numbers there. So 7.17% has been bought up and burned so far. And Serum token, $1.49, down 3.6% at 55 million supply. And 2,600 ink token per day being emitted in the farm. So pretty low, right? Pretty low inflation. Hex at the moment, 6,600th of a penny, down a third of a percent. So Hex is the best performer today. And don't shy on Hex, right? Hex, got smaller liquidity from memory, and so it could really rally there on the old Hex. So Hex, don't count that down. We got EHEX at the moment, 2,100th penny, actually up from yesterday. That's kind of cool. Combined price EHEX and PX is at 8,700th a penny. So yeah, Hex, when it moves, it's going to be pretty awesome. I think when Hex finally moves, it'll be pretty neat. Get back to the good old days. Good old days. All right, so that's day 751. 751 days, can you believe it? Gas prices have been really elevated. Have you noticed that? probably this. I don't know. Is it the Remember token causing that? You guys decide. I don't know, but it's at 15 million beats at the moment. Hasn't been doing that all week, and yet Remember has been, I think, pumping for a few days. We'll check that out on the chart. But 15 million beats for no good reason. What the heck? Anyway, so it's got to be probably this Remember they're cycling through all this volume, right? So we're at 20 cents for a PulseX swap at the moment. And let's jump over to the validators. 50,751 active validators at the moment on PulseChain. So it's been going up real nicely. Remember, we got down to what? We did get down to 44,000 or something like that. And we lost 3,000 in one go. So some big player. And then we recovered from that. So what, 54, 55. So we got 57 or 58. And now we're back up 50,751. So everything's going real well for the validators. And hopefully that's improved the chain too, right? Quality validators. The bridge at the moment, let's see where that's at, 92.6 million. That looks like it's up from yesterday. I think we were at 92, just over 92. So I think we might be up at 500,000, I think. So, we've got DAI at the moment, 22.3 million. We've got 7,244 ETH, which has gone up, right? We had that, large holder come in with like $4 million worth of portfolio value, and they did the 555 ETH, right? And we saw another whale the other day by, what's it, 770 ETH or something. Something like that. I can't remember the exact details, but that was also a pretty nice buy. And that's just in the last week, I think, early in the week, of course, because we've been selling down since then. But we got EHEX at the moment. We got that at 18 million or so. USDC sitting around 16 million, and Coast there sitting at 9.8. I was expecting to see another rise in Coast. You know how we'd sort of seen 200,000 increments? We were sitting at 9 million, and we had like another 200,000 and another 200,000 at different times. But we haven't managed to get over 10 million yet. I'm sure it's coming close soon. And we know the Coast team is bringing that new product to market, right? So, which just skips my mind as well. I'm going to have to go back and do my homework. But that's coming as well. So Coast is bringing some more real amplifying quality DeFi, which I think is going to benefit the liquidity forks, right? So we might actually look at that during today's live stream. We'll go check that out as well. We've got 5.2 million USDC at the moment and 27 Bitcoin. Will we see a lot more Bitcoin? Could that be a strategy? Could we see some secret Richard Hart Bitcoin come over or something like that and get matched up to some PDI or something, or PRAP Bitcoin? Let's see if that gets a one-to-one backing, that theory. What was it? We call it the wrap Bitcoin theory. We used to have the PDI maker theory. We got the wrap Bitcoin theory there. So it's out there. All right. So that's kind of where we're at the moment on the Go Pulse. So not too bad. I mean, hopefully we've found the bottom here, but we're going to check out the charts in any case before we get into a lot of that cool stuff. Now, I just realized I'm not even sharing the screen. So I do apologize for that. I just realized that. All right, so let me just recap quickly since I wasn't sharing the screen. Let me go to the gas prices. That is the gas prices there. And we come down. Like, I was sitting at, what did I say it was? 12 million or something. Now it's down at 4.8 million. So there we go. That's the change of volatility. I do apologize. I just realized that I wasn't even showing the screen the whole time. Let's go back and quickly go through that. You guys heard me do the numbers, but here is the charts. The Pulse, obviously, down 1.9%. PulseX there, Quadruple 0291 down 4.5%, Inc down 2.8%, $1.50, and Hex is actually up 0.5%, and that was just in a couple of minutes. So Hex there, a rebound 66/100th of a penny. So that is kind of the charts there. Let me see. We went to validators, and I didn't show you that 50,751 validators, and the bridge, of course, sitting at 92.6. So there we go. I had to make up for that. Sneaky little mistake there. All right, let's go over to the total market and have a look at this. This is kind of the main event. We've got 65.8 million. How is that possible? We're sitting around 20 to 30 million, and now the last couple of days we've been up at this 65 million. Well, if you go to the volume page here on the default view, it's this Remember token. Remember here, it's been around for 19 days. This particular pair with Pulse, it's on a V2 pool, and it's got a whopping 46.8 million. This is the sort of stuff we see on other chains, right, with this volume recycling. So, the price is down 7%. Only 312K liquidity too, but it's got a silly market cap of 522, almost 600 billion here right now. So it's moving around pretty crazy, and that is the Remember token. So we'll see how that goes at the moment. So yeah, pretty crazy. Let's have a look here on the marks here. Looks like I've got. I might just going to have to pause the video for a moment. I've got someone at the door. Let me just deal with this very quickly. I'll be back. I think that's the first time I've had a doorbell ring during the live stream. Isn't that crazy? That's hilarious. We'll call that the doorbell episode. How about that? All right, it's Popo. Yeah, it's Popo. No, the other thing that I had Mr. Whippy. Do you guys have Mr. Whippy where you are? That had the sound like in the background. Yeah. All right, let's move on. So we got the big volume coming through here, and you can see the big volume candles, and we've got this on the hourly. See the big volume candles down here? So these volume candles here all around about 1.4 million each, and then we've jumped up just the last, half a day in particular. They've jumped up to 4.2 million. So there's lots of shenanigans going on with this Remember token here. We look on the daily. We can see what's happened over the last volumes, and this is when we've experienced these high gas prices, right? So it's pretty much got to be this, right? So that is pretty crazy. Last couple of days, and of course the price just slowly shedding down there. Oh, look at that big pump right there. That's crazy. Let's go look what that was. $10,000. That's all it took. 10.7 trillion there. So it's got this wallet, 888 wallet here doing a lot of activity. And there's another 9,000 sell there. So, lots of volume being recycled here. And look at that. That's crazy, right? Look at that right now. Oh, look at that. 16,000. But look how easy it is on a liquidity of 326, right? So that is some crazy mechanics that I guess presumably this is OG WebChef, of course, the founder, Remember, and it's not some other, pretender. And so, yeah, that is crazy. That's crazy. So that there, all this routing is possibly impacting the gas prices at the moment. With that volumes play. All right. So that is pretty much it on the Remember. So just I want to have a quick look at that. And let's have a look at the best performers at the moment over the last 24 hours. We've got HAL token. This looks like another printer token, doesn't it, from OG WebChef? Now you have to get in the Telegram group to follow that. I haven't been following that closely. We do have 1 or 2 people in our Discord that follow that a lot closer than I do. That is on the move. 11 hours, and that is up 5,500%. So it does appear to be another printer token there or something similar. House of Warlords. I'm not sure. It's got how is a 10 billion 10S yield making machine, hold and be rewarded, earn SolidX. So you earn SolidX in this, you earn PDI, and you earn a Troper in this. So maybe that's pretty interesting. 2%. Let the printer go brr, and the 2% of Troper, 2% PDI, 2% SolidX, 1% BB PDI buy and burn wallet, also owned by the PDI team to make it super deflationary. 1% PPV2 buy and burn wallet, and 2% Genesis there. Pretty big tax on that. So seems to be pretty crazy stuff. Now we got Tomba says, how is another reflection one? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it definitely is. They seem to be a new kind of fad with the printer logo, says Tomboss. Okay, cool. Yeah, it could be a new team. There's definitely people trying to jump in to the printer ecosystem, not just OG WebChef. And we got Cabal King out there and possibly others. So this 414 is a Cabal King, and that is ticking away as well. What's that? 60K volume over 22. So very different setup though from these other ones, which are doing some ridiculous numbers. Mnemonics, of course, is OG WebChef. That's up 43%, and of course we've got the classic Remember tokens here. These have also been around 14 and 19 days respectively. These are the ones, of course, that are doing decent volume, 1.3 million, 47 million. Obviously, pretty huge. This is the one that we've just been talking about, right? The one that we remembered up 18%, moving around pretty violently. We got the gas token from OG WebChef. Oh, they're really moving around a lot here. PGC the Greys, so we're back to sort of the blue chips. That's up 6% at the moment. Lady Gaga has been around for 9 months, up 6% as well. UpX, of course, from Haunted is up 5% on the back of Pulse. Sparta, of course, from Wendy's for Tendies. That is doing pretty well also. So Sparta there at 6 cents at the moment on Sparta. We got PGC the Greys, of course, we talked about that. Doing very, very well. Definitely one of the more blue chip ones. We've got Mafia from Jacob, up 4%. We've got Firewell. Oh, Firewell's moving up here. So remember, there's 3 pump tires from Firewell. He's one of the 2 big whales on PulseChain. And he's also got his SolidX original. So that's the one that's going to be burned off with the new X game there. So probably well worth keeping a tab on that, because it's probably going to move very quickly at some stage when we get some news around the casino license for X game. So keep that on your watch list, and if you're not accumulating, that may be something you might want to do. Thomas says Sparta is going to be one of the ones that last. Yeah, I think you're correct there, Thomas. So yeah, I think that's definitely a pretty well established project team. What's Winners for 10 is a bit of a Hex OG, and yeah, this seems to be moving forward for sure. All right, what else there? And a cool thing there about Tombos' comment is that one that lasts, right? What project's actually going to last rather than be here for a month and disappear, right? So those are the ones you want to look for as well. We got Die here, another pump tires up 3.6% UFO related to PDDC, right? They go together. And of course, that they are 3.3% there at the moment. They've got quantum entanglement, as it say. We got time dividend from KG. This obviously going to do well. It's got the swapping values being pretty good. It will change every week, but time dividend there. If you're holding time in the Internet Money wallet, you earn a share of the swap fees. What else? We've got Soil Sun Mineral. We've been talking about that, of course. Big news expected to come for that coming up as well. Let's actually quick look at the time one. Actually, I just want a quick look at the time chart. So that is a pretty good looking chart, isn't it? So time is doing pretty well there as well. So yeah, let's see whether it can really break much higher. I'm sure it's going to hyper rally probably once we get a bull market running on PulseChain. And that's from time. We've also got obviously Sun Minimal, which we've been talking about a lot because this could potentially be the first real, and a very key there, real, not only unicorn once it reaches 1 billion. It's only 656 million at the moment. But this is one that would, technically make it into the CoinGecko list, and so they're not trying to move to that yet because this is backed by a real corporate in the real world, and these numbers, are fairly real, relatively speaking, compared to some of those other ones that you can make up, $1 billion markets and stuff. But this could actually, once it gets to billion, could actually start to re-rate very, very well over the years ahead into potentially the first $1 trillion coin on PulseChain. That could be definitely a future if they achieve their goals, right? They achieve their goals of 5 million holders by 2030. We shall see. They've definitely got doing very well along that path at the moment. We shall see. So this orange line here is the 3rd of June, and big announcements are expected then as well. And I've teased a few of those out already. But they may have some big surprises there. We shall see. Around possibly expansion is probably the bigger one that we're expecting. That may be a surprise to the upside. So yeah, we'll be keeping a lookout for that. At the moment, the chart's kind of just holding and creeping there. Now they were kind of hoping, this is Wolfgang, hoping that not hoping, but just aspiration that they might reach $1 billion by then. But they're not. They're at 656 million. So a billion would be 21 cents, not 13 cents. So yeah, let's see. I mean, someone may come in at the last moment and pump this thing to 21 cents, right? Who knows? That could definitely happen, right? So let's see. 21 cents would be up here. Let's have a look. That's 21 cents about there, let's say. So that's 21 cents. So is it going to do something like that, right? Is it going to do, let me see here. Is it going to do something like that? Is there someone going to pump this? Is it going to be today? Or could it be tomorrow? We're running out of days, right? Or could it be that day? So you can decide. Maybe that day. We'll see what happens here. Maybe it won't pump at all. Right? Now, will it be sell the news event? Will it be the news is so good that the price pumps to the upside because there's big investments coming in and all sorts of stuff? We shall see how it plays out as well. But in any case, once the corporate buy and burn starts in a formal sense, they've been doing little micro burns. That would be 20% of their net sales, right? So that could be pretty big coming up. So we'll keep an eye on that. That is potentially a juggernaut on PulseChain, not just a project that will be around, but actually a juggernaut on PulseChain, and our first corporate back coin that could do very, very well. Now, on that mention, there is Love.io, which is kind of a we'll see what happens with that. We had Ondas here the other day, but they really haven't rolled out a lot of their major stuff. So they were sort of waiting for the timing in the market. So we'll see what they've actually got lined up. So we'll see. We'll see in that space. Tropa, of course, James Maria up 2%. Solid X, of course, we're going to be keeping an eye on that. So the other whale, one of the strategies you can follow on PulseChain is the whale strategy, right? We've got Rack and Michelle. We kind of know quite a few of its tokens in this portfolio, not all of them, quite a few. We've also got Firewhale, of course, for Solid X, a good friend of Randy Alaski's, of course, a very, very cool influencer in PulseChain space. And so we will see with Solid X. But those tokens are making a little bit of a move today. Just a little baby move, but Firewhale up there, 3.8%. Solid X is the other pump tires, right? And that is up by 1.9%. And remember, these have only got a billion supply when they pump tires. The only one that he doesn't dominate in terms of ownership is Firewall itself. So this is when he first issued this, he had about 55% of supply. So that means about 45% or more could be in people's hands. That assuming he hasn't been buying some of it himself, right? Now, obviously, the SolidX there is you can check the top wallet. Basically, it's the way to check that. SolidX there is at 2%, so we're going to keep a lookout for that. I talked about Love.io, right? That's currently at 1.3%. Now, if they've got a good roadmap, so if they get their app out, and if they have lots of actually have made agreements with platforms for Love.io to really spread, then that would be very, very bullish. So maybe some of those were put on hold, waiting for the timing of the market. But if they get those up and running, that could be a very big, basically, I would say the second corporate protocol on PulseChain. But questions marks still. You have to see proof is in the pudding, so that is still to come down the line there. But it's been a very decent performer as well. They do have the Luffy.com site, and they do have sales on that. It's a luxury store, really, and that does come on to Love.io apparently. So and do some buys and stuff like that, buys and burns, I think. But that is kind of the play. ALGO there as well, built on the back of Hex. That's up 1.5%. You probably see if Hex moves, that's going to move too. So just take note of that one. So if Hex moves, that will probably move too, and probably at a leverage potentially. So that's kind of the play there. And yeah, what else we got there? We only got a few there in slight greens. I mean, there's like 1% up today. There's on the default view. Cumamon there. ABC Ape Pulse. It's also up slightly green. Mona Lisa there. This was tied into Teddy Bear Takeover, and that seems to be just up slightly there. And of course, who else linked there? Teddy Bear Takeover. That was kind of linked in there. I'm just trying to think of the other projects. This skips my mind at the moment. But there's Hex sitting there as well. This is up slightly green, and then Trump token up slightly green too. And I suggest to you that this Trump token may do very well also amongst the pump tires moving forward. And then we've got Fetch Oracle managing to be a slightly green today. Let's have a look at Fetch Oracle. It's a match with USDL as well. Interesting enough. Oh, that chart does look a bit rough. And of course, there we are. If we were up at 1/1500th of a penny, and now we're down at 1,300 a penny. So it's not too bad. Not too bad. It's not really. It's probably a lot worse on the chart than it looks. But I mean, it's down percentage wise 17%. So it's not too bad, is it? But it's not really being utilized, I guess, as it should be. 242k liquidity. Let's see if that's even. So what's the V3 pool? Yeah, V3 pool. 199k in Fetch and USDL 43k. But we may see that turn around. More projects use Fetch and things like that. We shall see. In fact, do they have this website? Let's go quickly check the website and quickly see how the Fetch Oracle is going. Let's go. I think this one's going to jump us there. Oh, well. That's not what I have to go through the steps, I guess. Let me go to the launch pad. All right, so let's see here. I just want to quickly check the Oracle. We're going to obviously get Signum Oracle coming up, so we're excited about that as well. But I thought we had the data on here. Do you have to connect your wallet to see data? I didn't think you had analytics. I thought they had the analytics on default, but maybe you have to connect your wallet for that. Oh well, we might do that on another show because I'm not going to do it now. So we'll come back to that. But that is Fetch Oracle sitting at 1,300 of a penny. I was hoping to see what sort of calls and activity they had on there, but we might have to do it on another video. All right, that is where we are on PulseChain. This is kind of what's been hot over the last 24 hours. I don't think we have a weekly filter, as I remember. Maybe we do. Let's have a look. No, we don't. So I can see there. So that is pretty much it over the last 24 hours. Now, one of the other things I was going to talk about, if it comes to mind, let me come back here. Is do we have anyone? No one had any ideas. Mr. Whippy yelled. Yeah, it's an ice cream truck. With Andy. It comes around during summer, but it's been around a lot longer. I can explain why that is, but I don't want it on live stream. All right, so let's jump over to some other stuff here. Now there are a lot what we use a lot of the time is the default view on DickScreener to rank our top 100s and stuff like that. But there are a lot of projects on PulseChain that we don't cover because they're on, they're just out there and they're not really on that list. But some of them perform very well. They're pretty well out there. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of projects that you can go searching around for to see how they're performing as well. Some of them can, perform quite well. The other thing, of course, is that you see a lot of tokens perform well that that have just come out of nowhere, right? Just come out of nowhere and they can perform well for a little bit. But like, back to Tom Boss said, which ones will last? Those are the ones that you want for the bull market. They've got a decent sized community, maybe even a good influencer support, have good tokenomics, are pretty reliable. Those are the ones that you should be looking forward to in part of your portfolio, right? And your portfolio should always be diversified. So even if you come across the best project ever, oh my gosh, so good, I feel so good about this, then that's when you stop, right? When you say no, you got to make sure you keep a diversified portfolio as well. And I always say, not just on chain, so not just on PulseChain, for example, but cross chain as well. So you've got cross chain protection also in your portfolio value. So, and then within that value, you can think about your risk return profile as well. So maybe you got 50%, 70% in relatively low risk sort of DeFi projects or stable coin earning yield or something like that. And of course, in the bull market cycle, you want to have more of that on risk on, right, as opposed to risk off during coming down from the top of the bull market. But of course, we're still expecting us to go up to the bull market, so you want to have that profile really well organized. And then maybe, I don't know, it's up to you what you do in terms of percentages. But let's say you had 50%, 30% in risk on assets during the bull market. So you got the other 50 perhaps earning income or something like that, pretty conservative, like maybe stable coins or something close to it, like pretty close to it DeFi. And then you can have the rest of it risk on, right? So one of those might do a 10,000x, one that might do a 100x, depending what you are. But it's going to be a lot harder to get the big X's. PulseChain, I think, is going to have quite a few opportunities to do that if you think about it. So if you've got the magic cart ride potential play out, that might be late in the cycle. It might be when PulseChain has, when ETH goes to 3,700 and then we go well past that. We might see some actions there. We may see some protocols from Richard Hart and things like that. So there's all sorts of stuff that could come along and give us the platform for big X's. And then if you find a project that's going to do in its own right, so regardless of the magic cart ride doing its own right, going to do big X's, then you're going to get the X's on the X's, and that's when you can start getting some of the big X numbers and turn a little bit of money into a lot of money that's going to play. Other than that, you should be looking for projects that are going to do pretty well anyway. And so if you only need a 10x or 100x somewhere in that could be a game changer, a life changer, right? So it just depends on what your base amount is that you're putting in, and of course your risk return trade off. So there's a lot of food for thoughts there as well. I suggest you always be well organized. At the very minimum, have a spreadsheet. I know a lot of people are not familiar with spreadsheets. I don't like them, but you should have that, and then that way you keep a more logical and a less emotional view about your portfolio. And you have got that right risk return trade off, right? If you're having some of those principles, you're going to be a lot better off in the market. And keep diversified. That is probably one of the key principles there. So very important to learn there as well. What else there? We got everything in the house there. Oink will be lasting forever. The treasury is massive. Next beard treasury will be pump it forever, says everything Thailand. Big shout out to you. And a bit of oink in there. So a little bit of piggy in the chat there today. Who else? We've had Tom Boss in the chat there, putting some really good alpha in there. Appreciate that, Tom Boss. Who else has jumped in the chat as well today? Brennan. We've had Excavator, Sandy Beach. We've had Fast Abdul as well. Wookie in the house. So appreciate all those comments. Richie Robinson, big shout out to you. Sean O'Malley, big shout out to you also. So pretty cool. All right, how are we doing for time? An hour and 9 minutes. I think it's a good place to wrap up. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I was actually going to quickly look at the influencer tokens. Should we do that quickly? Let's do that. Let's quickly wrap up with that. So we've got at the moment we've got time dividend at the top there. This is my little custom list, right? Presumably I've got just about everybody on here. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure I have. We've got Firewhale at the moment. So Hex Fire is up 4.5%, and we got Firewhale number 3 up 2.6%. So yeah, we got KG, we got Crispy Man, we got Firewhale. We got Trump token. I just put Trump in here because it's Donald Trump, so celebrity token. And then we got Good Die from Maddie, and this is pretty flat at the moment. And then we got Top Hat from Crypto Coffee. That is pretty flat also. So these are kind of flat there. Let's have a look at the Good P Die. I know there's people will either love or hate it. And of course, let's have a look at the pool there. 21K in liquidity at the moment. So I don't know what it used to be, but I think it was a lot bigger, wasn't it? And we're at $2,100 in volume there. It's currently just under 7 cents at the moment. It's spiked down to 5 cents approximately a couple of days ago. Our RSI is pretty oversold on the daily, but we'll see how that goes as well. We've got a little picture of Somi and Maddie Allen. Believe in something, a new PDI set come, which does, you can take that for what it was. I'm not endorsing it either way. Obviously, the chart speaks for itself. We got SolidX there as well from Firewall. Down slightly, pump tires there. Obviously, that's a kind of a Richard Hart token if you want to put it in that framing. Note token from Randy Alasky. Obviously, Randy Alasky doing a great job out there. That is down 1.7%. X Game is another one, of course, from Firewall. Down 2%. SolidX is obviously the one that you want to buy if you want to get the benefit of the burning from the crypto casino, decentralized casino when it launches with all the games. X Game, of course, first, down 2.8%. Then we got another Firepower. Most Wanted, obviously, kind of another Richard Hart token here. This is the pump tire version. Obviously, the other one, the original one, is actually Ricky, which we've covered before. And then Axis Alive, the TA guru on PulseChain. That is down 5% at the moment, $4,800. Let's quickly check on that one. The old Axis out there, Axis Alive. And yeah, 4,800 at the moment. And of course, Crispy Man, Axis Alive. Who else is it? Firewall. These are all part of the, I think that, let's call it the Axis Index, something like that. It's all part of that same idea. And 4,800 at the moment. Now, the high got back here on the 8th of April, got to $98,000 per Axis token. Isn't that crazy? Current market cap, 4.8 billion. And I guess it's just Axis saying that, you can make up any market cap you want because I think like 99.5% of supply is held by Axis. So it's one way of making a big market cap, a bit like how Richard Hart does with, depending on the way you do the numbers with the OA sacrifice wallets, right? So that is it on the influencer coins. I thought I wanted to finish off with a bit of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is the influencers for sure. Good night, says living my best life. A good night to you as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show today. I certainly have. And of course, what I want to talk about is coming up this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. You've got to be there. We're going to have probably up to half a dozen project teams. These are the rising stars on PulseChain. Every fortnight is kind of the target that we're looking to have. This is a new expansion of what we're offering with the Crypto Night show. And of course, it's going to be fun to be there. Now, we may have a second hour as well, where we're having another team come in as well, possibly with Ben and Rack and Michelle type of team coming in, or Magic Upride coming in to do PulseChain news and discussion after that. So it'll be possibly the second hour. But the first hour is going to be run by the Crypto Night show. And it's going to be on the rising stars on PulseChain. So if you want to hear some of the cool projects and meet some of the founders, ask some questions, that could be a place to be coming up on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, which is going to be about 1 o'clock New Zealand time or 11 o'clock in the morning Australian time there on the Thursday, because we're so far ahead of North America in terms of time, but about 19 hours or something. So that's kind of the play coming up. So don't miss that. It's going to be pretty awesome. Also, MVS is working on the week number 4 monster thread coming out on Sunday, Monday too. So week number 4 on the monster thread, the place to be for news on the old PulseChain. So it's going to be pretty exciting. And like I said, we've got more stuff coming up in the weeks ahead from the Crypto Night show team. It's going to be pretty exciting. We've got more publications, and of course, we're going to have a cool little secret project I'm working on. Hopefully, I'll get that over the line but in the next week or two as well. And so, yeah, it's going to be fun, man. We're gearing up for the bull market. It's going to be really cool, and I hope you guys enjoy the content as well. All right, take care. I'm going to leave you. Actually, we're going to go back to the other screen because I want to leave you with the Raoul Paul, the billionaire, and his analysis on the bull market, where we are in the cycle, because it's going to be takeoff time. In crypto, it happens very fast. So it might be down today, but next week it could be up big time, right? So just remember that. I think we've had our little pullback here. And so if we get some good news around these trade deals and stuff like that, we could have a nice big bullish week coming up as well. So look forward to that. It's going to be pretty exciting. All right, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats. Don't fuck this up. Don't lose control of your tokens. Don't use leverage. Don't get your wallet hacked. Just sit with it. Be careful. Don't get FOMO. Do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens, we'll have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.